Are we going live? Is this thing on? I think it is. Okay. Um, um, Give me a sign if people can hear. This is a brand new microphone, brand new headset. I know, ODC, finally. I'm just hitting this on Facebook for people to see it, just to see if everything's working right. So, what's up, ODC? Huh? Can't hear you. So I just want to know there's a fan running, so I'm going to stop talking for a second. This is a little bit of housekeeping. So let me know if you can hear the fan in 3, 2, 1. Fan? No, yes. Yes, it has been a while. I'm going to hold this thing up. Hopefully, it's probably not going to rattle too much. So I got a new microphone. It is the Blue Yeti. This is what a lot of people use. That's so awful. um, So the Blue Yeti is a popular microphone a lot of podcasters use, and me having a podcast, Robin, everyone loves the Drake. I wanted a really nice microphone, and it's red. I know Blue is the company, and being a Robin fan, I saw that I could get it in red, so I thought, yeah. So I guess it's a blue red Yeti. All of the chat comments just disappeared. Oh, there they are. Okay, cool. Get out. So I did a little quick test before I started. I think it sounds okay. So I'm having to adjust my microphone. So I'm going to stop rambling. It's been a long time. I think the title of this was What's Going On with My Channel. I don't know if it's just extreme laziness. Going back a couple months, actually not a couple months, almost 6 months, the furnace in our house gave out in February, and we need to replace the furnace. So long story short, replaced the furnace, which wouldn't hamper the channel at all. But what it did was cause us, we have like baseboard register heats. We have a boiler system basically. So when the technicians came in to fix the heating, they had to go back through and bleed all of the lines of all the registers in the houses, which meant we had to pull everything out from the walls so they could get to the registers, which meant the review room that I use, I had to put a bunch of crap that was alongside of the walls, bookshelves and action figures and stuff like that. I had to put on my review table, and that has been a complete cluttered mess for 6 months. And I've been extremely lazy about going up there. And the nice thing, or the sucky thing, was there's no heat, there's no air conditioning upstairs. So if it's 90 degrees outside, it feels like it's 105 upstairs. And the last thing I want to do is sit behind a review table and sweat my butt off. And if I put in a window air conditioner in that room, it is so incredibly loud. So I've just been lazy for the last few months, not wanting to review anything. And I've been saying probably for a year or so that I've been wanting to do something on the channel, and I haven't done anything in so long other than live videos like this. So I've honestly been toying with, do I just end the YouTube channel that's been a great 5-year run, or do I man up and do I go through and say, I've met a lot of cool friends through this, and I've been getting a lot of messages, what's been pretty cool, of people saying, hey, when are you going to do another action figure review? I've bought a lot of stuff, and I think I've said in many reviews or many live videos, I'm planning on getting back and doing something. I bought a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to review. Christopher, I know. So I'm, even at the time I was going to start this video, I was almost thinking maybe I'm just going to sign off and say, hey, it's been a great run. Podcasting, I will do that all day, every day. I can sit right here with my microphone and get on with a bunch of friends and talk about comics and all that stuff without having to go through, set up the video camera, go into record everything, do however many different takes it is, then take the camera, bring it down here, edit it all together, upload the video, and have done that for 5 years. But I've been kind of seeing that people have been asking, like, hey, when are you going to do stuff? And sadly, I've honestly been kind of missing it, like getting back to doing action figure reviews again. So I kind of bought some stuff again that I'm planning on going, well, I'd like to review this, or I bought this thing because I want to use it for something else. So I'm not planning on ending the channel. I'm really honestly trying to get back to doing it. I don't know how the group of us, or everybody that does YouTube videos, but my good friends, ODC, that's me, Stu Murray 47, Chapman Films, Automatica, like we were relentless for like 3 or 4 years, probably closer to 5 years of just doing videos almost daily. And a lot of us have just all, slid off, and things at YouTube have changed, and, you can't monetize things, right, unless you reach a certain threshold. And I never started my YouTube channel to make money. People that make money off YouTube, I was always like, wow, that's great. That's awesome. I don't know how the heck you did it. Or sometimes I might have used copyrighted music and I was afraid of, getting into all that stuff. And I thought, I never cared about making the money off of YouTube. I just wanted to be able to share my collection. So I'm going to show some stuff today that I have every intention of sitting behind a camera and reviewing. Some stuff I've opened that I just didn't want to set in boxes forever, and I will still planning on reviewing it, and other things I just recently got. So that's the opening ramble. I'm going to kind of show you some stuff. I'm going to show you a custom I've been working on. It's probably the first real legit custom that I've been trying in the whole, 5-6 years of this channel. And it's actually turning out really pretty cool. So I'll show you some stuff here. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you, which one thing is right out of my reach. If I think I can reach it, if you bear with me for 1 second. Hi, it's me. Okay. Totally unprepared. Depending on where you live in the world or the country, a store is getting ready to close, and you can just see out of my reach. So I think we all know what this is. I bought a Toys R Us basket. I also bought a, I don't know if you can see it, if I could turn the TV just right. Maybe you can kind of see the corner of it. This white thing right here is an end cap from Toys R Us. I don't know what's happening with the chat log. YouTube is all sunshine and rainbows now. No swearing, no music, randomly demonetized videos. Sounds like a great place to be a content creator. I know. I think the part of it for me, and Christopher had a comment here, maybe just revamp your channel into something new, still do action figure reviews. You feel like maybe focus on more podcasting and stuff. I've kind of thought about it, like just do it like this, have the figure up here that I can show you. We can look at it and talk about it in real time and do a review in real time. That's something I've really thought about. Just trying something like this. Yeah. At Toys R Us, if you were willing to pay for it, they even the front doors off the building, they would be willing to send to sell. Somebody had talked about, can I buy the actual big R? And they said, talk to our manager. Once the store is officially closed, they're going to pull down the signage. So you can imagine my wife would freak out. I have a giant neon glowing blue R in the living room. So I'm going to turn a fan on if you don't mind. So, yeah. So with Toys R Us, I bought that shelf, and that was an end cap shelf in kind of like the video game aisle, where maybe they would have some of the like deluxe action figures, maybe like the Gotham TV series, or I know this particular shelf had the Superman and Muhammad Ali figures were actually on this shelf at one point. So Stu, Superman did sit on the shelf at one point. Tell her the R is for Rob. That would be awesome. My wife's like, why do you want a shelf? I'm like, well, being an action figure collector, I'm always dying for places to put shelves, and even having some really big, thick graphic novels or omnibuses or statues. These shelves are made very, very well and can hold a lot more weight than a normal, just, solders, put it together yourself Walmart shelf will hold. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, and to have a little piece of or Walmart, geez, boo, Toys R Us. And my wife's like, well, why do you want the basket? Again, having a little piece of Toys R Us, but the film studio, or the spare bedroom that I do all my reviews in, where I've got that big red, table, having this Toys R Us basket, I was forever just using comic book boxes to carry all of my action figures up and down with, or anything that might be back here that, I'm gonna do a comparison and I'll pull a figure off. I'll carry a whole bunch upstairs, and I would just use a box. I thought I could use this Toys R Us basket to carry figures and all that type of stuff back and forth from upstairs and downstairs. So that's kind of why I wanted the basket. And again, I'm sentimental and sad to see Toys R Us go, and doing action figure road trips and going back and forth from all the different stores, and kind of sad to doing action figure. It's like, hey, I went to online on my phone and I bought figures. I kind of miss the days of driving to stores, but that's kind of neither here nor there anymore. Anyway, I want to show you some stuff here. One of the newest things that I just got is this guy. So this is Robin here, obviously, from the new Mattel Batman Night Missions line. And any of you Batman versus Superman fans out there, or haters, should recognize this staff. This is an over-exaggeration of the staff from the Robin memorial case. It's pretty darn close. This Robin, I think, is leaning more towards Tim Drake's Rebirth costume, mixed in with a little bit of the Arkham Knight Robin. Any Robin fans out there can tell that is Damian's R. So much like they used Tim Drake's R in the 90s and 2000s for anything that had Robin on it, that was just the standard R that they used. So I think now that Damian is the Robin of choice right now for DC, and that is the standard Robin R, I believe that's just the R that a lot of figures are going to now. So I think this is really closer to his Rebirth look, and he actually is a 6-inch figure, and he's scaled correctly. I don't have that Batman, but here's the Rebirth Batman, and I know I don't have a table here. Maybe I'll have to come up with some little table for the camera, but you can see I've got their boots just about the right height. So he is the correct size. It's not like they just made all these figures the same height. So the Robin will set really well with your Mattel Multiverse line. So again, I'm kind of hoping the Multiverse figures come out sooner, the Clayface wave. I thought I had my Martian Manhunter in this room. Apparently I do not. So kind of disappointed about that, but a couple things I did pick up from Toys R Us I got out. The Red X from the Teen Titans Go. Robin is the Red X. And then I picked up, I don't buy a lot of pops. Usually if they're Robin or Kiss, the band Kiss, I'll buy those, but that's about it other than the subscription service that I was in. So this is Robin as Nightwing, which I think is kind of cute. So I picked those up, and I'm trying to find DD. There it is. Not this. I wouldn't have missed this. This is something else I'd recently picked up. The guys and gals at the Rogue show have seen this already. This is the Ninjago display case for the Lego figures. And I've got my Lego Batman figures in it. I got this. This was early on in the Toys R Us sale. So it's kind of cool. I think I got this at 20% off, and I thought if I don't jump on it now, by the time things go to, the big price drops in 40, 50%, 60, 80, all that stuff, all the cool stuff is going to be gone. So my wife wanted me to pick this up. It didn't say Toys R Us exclusive, but I imagine it is on some level. It's the 2017 Spring Convention exclusive. Again, I don't buy a lot of the Dorbs, but she likes a Green Arrow and Black Canary, and said, hey, this might be something kind of cool. It was pretty cheap. The Funko Pops and then the Dorbs were 60% off. So I got those really pretty cheap compared to size, or compared to, the normal prices of stuff. I did end up picking up a couple Star Wars things. This is also from the Toys R Us run. Just like Zuvius from Force Awakens, those figures all over the place. The Toys R Us that was closest to me had a bazillion of these guys. So there's a chime coming in right there. I'll probably have to get the Facebook message off there. 1 second, folks. Yes, leave a site. There we go. So that chime going on anymore. So I got this guy for, I think he was 70% off. So I think I got him for like $4 or something like that. So I haven't done a lot with, whoa, there we go. I haven't done a lot with the Star Wars stuff in a while, but I'm planning on it. Let me see here. Stu, off topic. Someone on Fat Man and Batman asked, can you imagine how different the Justice League universe would have been if Bale returned in Batman versus Superman and appears and he comes back? Like out of retirement, Lucius Fox is killed in the Battle of Man of Steel. Yeah, that would be kind of different. I'm glad that Ben Affleck was Batman, and I'm glad that the Nolan universe just stayed intact as it was. It would have been cool to kind of see. I mean, if you go back far enough, Brandon Routh was Superman while Christian Bale was Batman in that weird time frame. So you would have had that would have been kind of cool to see how that would have played if Brandon Routh would have still continued on as Superman. I kind of like the universe as it is. I'm kind of disappointed if Ben Affleck doesn't continue on as Batman, but I get it. I understand that might not happen. I'm knocking all kinds of stuff off up here. So yeah, but that would have been totally different, Stu. Something else I picked up, again, speaking of that universe, I picked up little Mr. Chris Pine here. I thought it'd been pretty cool. My Toys R Us has 4 days left, and I can't imagine the rest of this wave is still at Toys R Us. And maybe it is, but that'd be really cool to now pick up the rest of this wave at, 80% off, almost 90% off. I think 80 is about as high as they're going here. I at least wanted Steve Trevor to go with my Multiverse Wonder Woman. I know I'm one of the few that liked this line. I still really love this universe. Yeah, how are they going to explain Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman 84 and the unnecessary Joker movie coming out? I really feel like this is what Toys R Us. This is what Warner Brothers is doing. They got something and go, okay, does that work? No. Okay. Does that work? I feel like that's what Warner Brothers is doing right now. Yeah, I want Warner Brothers, somebody to get their head out of their butt. And I agree that if they want to recast the Joker, because people are like, the Heath Ledger, the Jared Leto Joker's not working. People don't like all the tattoos, this, that, or the other, or just doesn't feel like a Joker. And we want to do this magical time thing and forget about that thing over here because it happens all the time in comics. I can deal with it. People are smart. People can get on hold of it. You do have Wonder Woman going on. You do have Aquaman going on that are still in that DCEU universe. So if you recast Batman and make him a different actor, I guess you could do it. Look at, Ed Norton changing to Mark Ruffalo. You could just make a change, and that's just what it is. It happens all the time. Actors get replaced, directors get replaced, all that type of stuff. So I don't think it's not like in the 80s where, and nobody was ever that dumb before going, I'm not going to understand. Why is there a new so-and-so here? It's Batman. It's a Joker. You can just change them and it'll be fine. I would like there to be some continuity and have Ben Affleck continue on. But if he doesn't, great. But I don't think we need, here's a Joker universe movie that's in its own thing. And that's the other thing that could happen. There could be the Matt Reeves Batman is not connected into the DCEU, and the Joker movie and the Batman movie are connected, but they're not connected into the whole umbrella. That's where things are going to get crazy. That's where people are going to start going, I don't understand what's going on. So a lot of this stuff I think is just rumors. I will believe it when I see it. And at San Diego Comic-Con, if Matt Reeves is there and addresses any of this stuff, great. If Ben Affleck happens to show up, awesome. If they say our Batman movie is going to be its own thing, I mean, you could do it like the comics. You've got the Justice League comic that's going on that's telling its own story that isn't really influenced by Batman or isn't influenced by Detective or a Suicide Squad movie. So I've said that before. Make a Batman movie, make a Justice League movie universe, and You can keep them separate. Do whatever you want up here with Batman, and people are going to go see it because it's Batman. And then maybe somebody like Affleck's like, look, I only want to do one movie every couple years. I don't want to do the Batman solo movie and then go do a Justice League movie and then do a side part in here. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm just talking out of my butt right now. I would love to be in charge over at DC. All the disjointed movies work in the animated universe. One movie, the Justice League War movie, and then an unrelated. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, ODC just made a really good point. Like, I don't mind there's a Batman movie, an Aquaman movie, and a Justice League movie, but to say we're going to make a Joker movie, I don't care enough about the Joker that he's going to need to be in his own feature length movie. Harley Quinn pushes that line of, I think you can make a movie about Harley Quinn and her crazy antics and everything else going on, where she can be a lead character. DC has tried to do a Joker comic book series twice in their publication history, and that comic book has tanked because the Joker is not Darth Vader. I don't care how great of a character the Joker is. When the Joker's on the screen, you go, okay, when is Batman showing up? And I don't need to know what the Joker's doing. And you get like this weird POV of the Joker and then, Batman coming across the screen. If Batman even shows up for a minute, I'm going to be more interested in what Batman's doing over than what the Joker's doing. Let's see what else we got here. DC press release, the Joker canceled, green light given for Captain Boomerang trilogy. I'm afraid something dumb like that could happen. So it could be anybody's guess. What else do I got I can show off here? Oh, my custom. So going back to a version of Batman I like is the Arkham universe for Batman. It's a favorite of mine. I'm not saying it is my favorite. So to go with the multiverse Rebirth Batman figures or some of the Rebirth lines, I've been enamoring for or wanting to have a Rebirth Red Robin figure. And the Rebirth Red Robin costume is, I was originally saying loosely based off of the Arkham City Robin costume, but it is darn close to this Arkham City Robin costume, right down to the fingerless gloves that he has here, the way his boots are. And Rebirth, his boots go up a little bit higher to almost have like a knee pad type of thing, but just in how he looks, minus the hood and having the double R. So I thought if I was Mattel, this would be an awesome base of a figure to use. He's in the right height scale as Batman, the Rebirth Batman, and they're already doing the Clayface wave. So Batwoman is in that wave as part of the Detective Comics team. In a Young Justice line, there's going to be a Stephanie Brown action figure spoiler coming out. So all that's missing from the Detective Comics Batman line is Red Robin and Cassandra Cain, if I'm correct in saying that. Yeah, because there's already the Collect and Connect Clayface that's coming out. So, and those are starting to hit Walmarts and Targets across the US. So I bought two figures online, Superman and Batwoman. I got Superman here and my Batwoman figure. Martian Manhunter's in the other room like an idiot. I didn't bring him in here. So I went on eBay, as Chapman Films would say, and I bought a second one of these to do a repaint and make a new cape for. I've tried a couple different capes from the Young Justice Batman. I cut that one off. The shoulder pads or the shoulders were sculpted to fit that Batman, so the shoulders sat really weird. So I took the cape and I cut it off. I did some other cutting, so it kind of looks poopy now. I had it at one point because I was trying to cut these shoulders back so it sat on the figure a little bit easier. And I essentially just now screwed to this Batman up. I have a second one of these Batmen, but now this Batman doesn't have a cape for it. So I really kind of cannibalized a couple figures to not end up using the pieces that I want. You want the cardboard background Robin. Can't have him. I got him off of Amazon. I think when I he might have been $30. Those cardboard cutouts can get expensive. So what I ended up doing was I had a second Arkham City DC Collectibles Robin figure, and I took his cape, repainted the inside. The Rebirth Red Robin has a ring of yellow around the neck. Now, I haven't got this completely painted yet because there's been a lot of extra spray and painting to get this center ring done, and the top of this collar is going to get painted yellow. So I've got some black I've got to finish in here. So this is really kind of crude at the moment. But what I've done, I really hope I have the head in here because I want to show you the head. The head. Aha, there it is. So I took Roy Harper from Young Justice, and you're selling all your Arkham figures. Man, I love those figures. Love those figures. These are a set of figures I will probably never get rid of. Those are some of my favorite figures. And Deathstroke right there, that SOB is brittle as all get out. The Mattel figure is so much better. That whole go back, I don't know, a couple years ago around Christmas time, 2016 maybe, when I got the 3-pack of Copperhead, Deathstroke, and I can't remember who the other figure was off the top of my head, but all three of those figures had major QC issues. But I took the head off Roy Harper, Young Justice, and I repainted the head, put the green mask like Tim Drake has, painted the hair black, and then I took there's the Arkham figure. So I bought a second Arkham figure and colored and painted him. So I've got to do some more touch up here. And I put the Arkham DC Collectibles cape on this guy. And I like how they had this cape sculpted that kind of sets out. So there's like a little ring in here where the hood used to set on, and that doesn't bother me so much. Now the hole for this peg head is smaller than what the ball joint is, so I have to bore this out a little bit. But that's kind of what he's going to look like. So I've got to match up the skin tone on the neck and then the arms there to kind of match. And this is just what the normal Roy Harper head looked like to begin with. So that's going to be my custom. I've got to paint the double RR on over the green circle. So I may cheat, and my wife has a Cricut. If anybody knows what the women use for scrapbooking, she can make like a die cut of a very, very tiny of the double R, and she can turn it into a sticker, and I can kind of glue that to the chest rather than, I can make one R really good, but to try and get another one the exact same size and get them to interlock that well, I don't think it's going to work really well. And doing this figure, I've been really nervous about getting him to look right and make sure all the paint apps are working well. I didn't want to screw it up and have a crappy R on there. So like I said, I got to do a couple other little fills in here around the belt and things like that. So that's the first real custom that I've done. And watch, now that I've done this, Mattel will release a figure, but I'm happy with it so far. So it'll be nice to sit on a shelf, and at least I can have, a proper Tim Drake to go with my DCUC type figures. Hate figures with very loose ankles, makes them hard to stand. You can't see it off here. I lost about 15 figures off of the shelf. I had one figure in the back with loose ankles and just toppled everybody over. So I've been restacking a bunch of stuff, and it's got me rethinking about kind of filming some stuff. A lot of us used to do like our top figures of 2018 or our collections again. So that might be kind of a cool way to kind of get back in. Got to get some floor polish. Yeah. The figures, they're just going to polish my floors. They hit the floor. I rub them around, get all the dirt and dust and put them back up. And it looks like they've been in battle. So I've been kind of thinking about doing that again to kind of get back into the channel, kind of do like a best of. I'm still on the Mattel bandwagon. I've kind of slowed down my action figure buying, trying to really only buy Robin stuff. But I did buy this ODC. I don't know if you have this guy or not. So I'm not a big fan of this movie at all. I was a fan of The Force Awakens. You kind of see where I'm going here. But what they did in The Last Jedi, I was not. Cloth capes or plastic capes? Which do I prefer? You know where I'm going with that. Last Jedi. Excuse me. It depends on the figure and how they're made. Like, I'm not going to be playing with the figures. If they make a Batmobile for this Batman, obviously he can't sit in it because of the plastic cape. So I would like a cloth cape. Now, this Robin has a cloth cape because there is a Batmobile for this cape. Cloth capes, I think, look really nice. I mean, this is a cheap plastic or a cheap cloth cape. You can see it's not slotted in very well. It's really sloppy. So then you're trying to make a cloth cape, and sometimes the cloth capes look so large, so huge that they kind of look impractical, kind of like. So taking this Justice League Batman, and I'm trying to make a cloth cape for him, but this cape is so friggin' huge. Huge. All because I want it to be movie accurate, where I've got tape on it so I can get it set right. It's not going to be totally done right on the one side. So you can get that movie fold over. And I apologize. This is really poor. So I'm trying to get this all set up. So where you've got something like this, where it folds over. The cloth cape is cool. But then trying to get it where I don't have a mountain of material hanging off the back. So I've got to get things measured out. I wish they would make the cloth capes a little bit better. So here's the factory one. It's kind of like the pleather. That's not too bad. But this Batman's cape was really kind of crappy. If anybody's wondering, this head came with the Batcave playset for the $9.99 figure, and I just painted him up a little bit better. Probably the best sculpted Ben Affleck face on a 6-inch body that I've seen in a while. So anyway, so back to what I was originally saying. I like cloth capes. I like plastic capes, depending on how the figure is and what I'm going to use the figure for. So a lot of them are just sitting on the shelves. So all the Mattel figures, they can be plastic capes all day long. They're going to sit on my shelf and be fine. Some of the nicer figures, yes, I want them in nice cloth capes. But if they're cheap cloth capes and I got to replace the cape anyway, then I'm like, it just should have been plastic. So the thing I was trying to originally say, plastic capes, yeah, they do throw them off balance. The DCUC Robin figures have horrible ankle joints, and I just had one break because he fell to the floor. Now I get to super glue his foot back on, but his cape makes him back heavy, so he wants to fall over. If they just made him like that Young Justice cape that I showed you here that I picked up, or that I repainted, this is a very, very thin cape, but Mattel was making these god-awful huge. I mean, they had beautiful looking detail on it and the folds from the cape and everything like that, but it fell over. The Mezco Batman cape is horrible. It's hard to work with. It can't even look good standing. Yeah. I agree with some of that stuff. And even like giving them realistic clothes in a small action figure, it looks like they become Barbie doll clothes, like the Green Arrow hood. Like the figure looks really good, but his hood is way too big. It looks like Green Arrow bought his clothes one size too big. It's like, make the clothes tighter so they fit the figure a little bit better. Anyway, speaking of cloth, I picked this guy up. As much as I did not like what they did to the character, like, I don't want to get this into whole Star Wars debate, but as much build up for this character and The Last Jedi as they were going for to turn him what they turned him into in that movie, what they turned him into, neither here nor there. I'd been looking at this figure before the movie came out, and after the movie came out, I was like, nope, I don't want anything to do with it. But I kept looking at it, and it was originally what, $39.99. So before the movie came out, I almost jumped on it at $40, and I kept saying, if I don't get it now, it's going to be gone. And after the movie came out, I was like, nope, not going to get it. So I've waited. It's had clearance sticker after clearance sticker. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different clearance stickers on this guy. The price on this is $19.97. I'm glad you can see that. $19.97. I went into my GameStop on Saturday, 50% off of this sticker. So for $10.97, would I buy it? Yes. Is Snoke going to be sitting on this throne when I get him out of package? Probably not. Is the Emperor going to be sitting on this throne? Oh, yeah. So I might leave Snoke on it. So for $10, if I bought the diorama and this happened to come with a figure, great, awesome. I might leave him on there for what he was going to become out of The Force Awakens. Yeah, I was all excited. For this movie, maybe bring back Darth Maul. Would people actually want Jar Jar to appear back in a movie, or to have The Last Jedi again? Anyway, I know some people like it. If you like it, it's your jam. Cool, awesome, great. If you don't like it, then that's your prerogative too. The Last Jedi was lame. The only good thing was Ben Solo memes. Yeah. Yeah, I pick and choose what I get from Mezco. Yeah, some things from Mezco look really, really good. Hey, that's probably the wife. So, yeah, it is. So that might be a good way to end this video. I know it's kind of... I'll just hang up right there. It's ringing in the other room. So, yeah, I am planning to get back to doing... I just realized I've been talking for 37 minutes. So I apologize for that. But this is a good way for me to test a microphone and be able to show you a few things. I think I showed you about everything I was... And there she is. So, like you said, call her. She totally threw me off. Let's see, Christopher, Jar Jar better than Rose. Yeah, that's one thing. I do want to say, maybe to kind of end this video, for as much as I may not like The Last Jedi, the last thing I'm going to do is blast somebody on Twitter or blast somebody, ODC, or tell somebody you're stupid for liking The Last Jedi, or go after the actress that's playing Rose and half threaten somebody and bully them on Twitter. It's like, what have we turned into as a society? I think it's great to have devices to get a hold of people and to get into communication. And I'm sure there's somebody out there watching my channel and go, this Rob guy sucks. Great. That's awesome. You can say I suck. That's great. If you want to tell me how bad I am and all these things that you want to do to me and all that stuff, then you are lower than scum. No, I did not hear what happened at JoeCon. Please tell me. I think people are stupid. I love the internet, but people have way too much, like, I can say free speech. I can tell you you're a piece of crap on your Twitter feed, or I can say all this stupid stuff and speak my mind. Yeah, it's one thing to say, I hate this movie. It's stupid. I hate Batman versus Superman. I love Batman versus Superman. I think it's a okay, cool, ODC. I think it's a really good movie. But for me saying that, there are people that will go to great lengths to tell me how crappy it is, how horrible, what bad characterization things are. And I'm no longer allowed to have my own opinion. So that's wrong. So me wearing a Justice League hat, like, oh, you like that piece of crap movie? No, I don't like that piece of crap movie. I like that pretty decent movie. Could it have been better? Yes. Should it have been better? Yes. But I'm not pissing and moaning about it. Did I go see Solo? No, I did not. Because I still have the bitter taste from the last Star Wars movie. And people are saying, oh, all the people that boycotted Solo, you just ruined all the extra movies. No, I didn't. By me not going, that's my right as a consumer to say, I don't like this product. Like a lot of us did with Mattel or DC Collectibles, saying, your crap is breaking. It's starting to be junk. we're not buying any anymore. Shape up or ship out. So what did LucasArts do? They just went, or not LucasArts, but Lucasfilms. They were like, oh no. So we're going to stop making all these movies and it's the fans' fault. No, it's actually your fault for bringing out inferior product. Now, why not just take it a step farther and go, this is the movie we wanted to make? Disney was saying, it did poorly at the box office. Solo did pretty darn well. Not for a Disney movie, not for a Star Wars movie, but next to another movie, other movies would kill to make that type of money. So why not just go, all right, you put out a dud movie, then maybe the next one's going to be even better. ODCs, people say he actually likes Solo. Awesome. I'm judging a movie that I haven't even seen yet. That's shame on me, but that's my point. I'm not going to go online and say it's a horrible movie and have no basis for it. I may say, I'm not willing to go to a theater and pay $8 to see the movie. I might go to a local like dollar theater and go see it and say, oh, it actually wasn't that bad. Or I would rather kick myself and watch it on Blu-ray or rent it at Redbox and go, oh, crap. I wish I would have gone to the movie theater. But for Lucas to go, people have been wanting an Obi-Wan movie. I don't feel like we need an Obi-Wan movie. For Solo, it might be a good movie, but I don't need to know what Han Solo did on Thursday before he meets up with Luke Skywalker on a Friday. I don't care. I want to know like what other stories could you tell other than going back to the well and try and figure out where all these timelines go in. I hope I'm perfectly wrong that I watch Solo and go, wow, this is pretty cool. But I go, isn't there anybody else that we can like? Han Solo's cool. Everything I know about Han Solo, I fell in love with watching A New Hope. I don't need to know anything else. I don't know what he did on Monday. That's cool. All I know is he's this cool pilot, this cocky pilot driving this piece of crap airship that, it's a piece of junk, and then the adventure starts. And this Han Solo character is pretty cool. Whether he shot first or not is irrelevant. He shot first. But it's that type of stuff. But then again, I'm somebody that loves Rogue One. Qui-Gon Jinn, that's a good example. Somebody could say, I want a Qui-Gon Jinn movie. That's cool. But again, I would rather go farther back. How about a Knights of the Old Republic? Soul Drum, what's going on, buddy? Why not a Knights of the Old Republic movie? Or, I don't know, just go forward. If the Star Wars Skywalker storyline is going here, what's happening over here? What's happening on another world we've never heard of where, yes, maybe the Empire or some version of the First Order is out there, or it's a totally new threat. It's almost like Star Wars takes place in Ohio, just because that's where I live. So what's happening in California? Don't go, what's happening in Ohio in 1941? I don't care what's happening in 2018, but happening in Maine or happening in Rhode Island, on Earth 2 over in the UK, what's happening over there? There's so many different branches that they could go and try stuff. So people can diss the prequels all they want, but they definitely had better fighting and dueling in the new trilogy. I really like the prequels. I really like the prequels. Jar Jar aside, and even some of the Jar Jar stuff does work for me, but I was so invested in the Phantom Menace. I remember sitting in a theater going, I never thought we were going to get a Star Wars movie ever again. It was one thing to get the re-releases and the special editions, but to be sitting in the theater seeing a new Star Wars movie just blew my mind. I really liked Attack of the Clones. A lot of people don't like Attack of the Clones. Episode 3, I can't top Ray Park's performance. No, not at all. I wish if I could have changed something with the prequels, I would have flip-flopped Count Dooku and Darth Maul, had Dooku start in the Phantom Menace and he die because he's the older one, and do it that way. And then you end up with Darth Maul going up against Darth Vader at the end, and then Vader and Obi-Wan having their fight play out the way it did in Episode 3. Just because I think I think that's one of those things, lightning in a bottle. They didn't realize how big and popular Darth Maul was going to be until after they kill him off. And it's like, oh, great, we Boba Fetted Darth Maul, and now we've got this old crotchety Count Dooku, which is very cool in and of himself. But I would have much rather had Darth Maul for 2 movies and have Count Dooku. How cool that would have been. Dooku and Darth Maul battle for, you know, the Emperor's affection's the wrong word, or the right to be, you know, the next apprentice. I honestly love how Jar Jar, the screen keeps going, blanking out. Yeah, I agree, ODC. I wouldn't have had Dooku, period. I mean, Dooku was cool, but I could have totally done without Dooku and had Darth Maul in there and been really cool. So those are just a couple things that I've been thinking of that I've been talking for 45 minutes. So see what happens when I don't do a video in a while. I talk really long. So I think that's about it for the things that I have picked up recently, other than a bunch of comic books, working on the podcast, Robin Everyone Loves the Drake. We have a second podcast called Batman and Robin Eternal, Volume 2. We're now officially on iTunes, so that one kind of comes and goes. We're trying to do it monthly, but with the summer, things have been kind of slow. So check out Robin Everyone Loves a Drake, Batman and Robin Eternal. I'm going to try very, very, very hard to get back here to actually doing proper action figure reviews. And I'm going to warn you, it's going to be a lot of stuff that I've picked up. There's a lot of multiverse figures that I picked up from the movies, and then just some of the newer figures that have come out, and some older figures on like Wave 1, like the Penguin, Blue Beetle from the classic DCUC days that I bought when I went up to go meet ODC. That's me for the very first time, second time, when I went up to Buffalo on the way back, coming from Action Figure Toy Man. So ODC, you and I got to get together, brother. Maybe we'll do a conversation like this on this channel. I do have Battlefront 2 now that I bought from a guy at work for $20. So maybe I can get online and start doing some of that stuff again. So I will be back, guys. I really promise it. And I just got to clean a room to be able to get some reviews done. So maybe in the meantime, I'll kind of do them here. Thanks for letting me ramble for 47 minutes and 27 seconds. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for support for the channel. It means a lot. And I'm sorry that things haven't been as timely as they should be, but I'll try and remedy that. See you guys. Bye.